Hello, Abuja. You're welcome to Sabilo on the Beat 97.9 FM Abuja with Mr. Kachi Omar and Kinechuku Agu. Today we are looking at notice to quit. Notice to quit. But before we start, like we say, always drop your comments on our social media handles at the Beat 97.9 FM Abuja. That's on follow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and Learn Nigerian Laws on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as well. Drop your comments and we'll be sure to use the feedbacks to deliver optimum content for you so that you'll be able to know exact laws that affect you as an individual. So today we are looking at the effects of a notice to quit.
Yeah. So first of all, a notice to quit, or as we often call it, quit notice, is an information from a landlord or his agent to a tenant, informing the tenant that the tenant should leave the landlord's property once the present rent or tenancy period expires. It may be a week, more a month, quarter, or half a year, depending on the tenancy agreement between the landlord and his tenant. Notice to quit should not be given during the existence of a tenancy period and should expire earlier on the same day of tenancy period will expire. Hence, it is not supposed to be an extra period, not even a day. Now, what we're saying is this: a notice to quit is an information that comes from the owner of the property, telling the tenant to leave the premises.
Mm-hmm.
However, if the landlord is not disposed, he can engage a lawyer or an agent to issue those notices. Now, some people just believe that every notice to quit must be 6 months. I don't know who taught them that. It shouldn't be. A notice to quit can be 1 week. It can be 1 month. It can be half a year. It can be a quarter. It can be anything. Parties are at liberty during their tenancy agreement to now say, no, when this tenancy is coming to an end, give me XYZ period of notice instead of this and that. That means even where the law expects you to have a 6 month notice, both parties, the landlord and the tenant, can waive it and reduce it or even increase it. Parties are given liberty to do that. Ordinarily, if you're a yearly tenant, you are supposed to have a 6 months notice to quit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the simple understanding there. Now, a notice to quit its effect is that it instructs the tenant to vacate the building, the property, upon the expiration of the present tenancy term. Meaning that the landlord is not willing to continue having the tenant as a tenant. It means that the landlord will not want to receive further rent. It means that the landlord wants the tenant to leave upon the expiration of his tenancy period or term.
So what it means is not, and when you get this notice, it doesn't mean you should live for free in the person's house. Say, I still have my 6 months, like you rightly said. So I'm saying, you give me 6 months, then you give me 3 months, then you give me 3 weeks, then you give me 1 week. No. Once your rent has expired and you're not renewing, or the person doesn't even want you to renew, that's the essence of notice to quit. Notice to quit is different from notice to make sure you pay your rent. People issue notice to quit just to make the tenant to pay his or her rent. When you've been issued a notice to quit, or what we call quit notice, please pack out of the property and at the expiration of your tenancy, because you will still pay for the extra days or weeks that you stayed. It's not saying because that we have commenced that procedure, then I have to stay. It is not free.
And to also add to this, please, landlords, ensure that you give your notice to quit during the rent or during the tenancy.
During the duration of that tenancy.
Don't wait until the end, because there is a way lawyers and the courts will calculate this tenancy. If you're supposed to give a notice to quit for 6 months, and that notice to quit is short by 1 day, 1 night, my dear, that notice to quit is invalid.
Exactly.
And when it is invalid, the court will tell you to wait for another 1 year
And issue the notice, during
to
the
quit.
tenant.
But the good news is there is no free rent anywhere. If no matter how long the tenant stays, the tenant must pay, whether with your consent or without your consent, whether there is a notice to quit or not, he must pay.
Our authorities for these are Section 7, 8, and 9 of the Recovery of Premises Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, Abuja, and other similar laws in other 36 states in Nigeria for recovery of premises, the landlord and tenant matters. Keep knowing your rights as you continue to Sabi Law, Abuja.